It's important because it actually lets us know the direction the city is going to. And the city of Johannesburg is one of the largest cities in Africa, and in terms of being an economic hub, it is definitely the economic hub of Africa. And by and large, we have about 5,000 new people entering Johannesburg every day. A lot of policies get created at a local government level that affect all the people living in the city. So what happens economically? What happens to infrastructure? Where do we house those people? What do we do about schooling? What do we do about economic development? So all of those things come into play and they get handled at a local level.
So these are all the key issues that come up annually in the State of the City address. From your research, what are some of the key issues facing the city right now?
So the key issues that face the city, housing is definitely a big one. The infrastructure, very big one. As we know, we struggle with water as a country and electricity as a country. And then more specifically, we struggle as a city of Johannesburg. And again, that's just due to the influx of people. Then you add to that education. So people move in, families with small children, they need schools, so schools are overcrowded. So all of those things have a knock-on effect.
Is it being addressed in the annual State of the City address? Are we seeing that kind of commitment coming through?
Yes and no. It's one of those things in that you address infrastructure problems like we are fixing the roads because you are currently fixing the roads. So you maybe don't mention the fact that there's a big housing shortfall at the same time, or that there's likely to be problems with infrastructure if you keep adding houses to the land without increasing the infrastructure capacity. So we see the mayor mention where things have gone right and won't necessarily mention potential problems that people don't think are bound to happen. So I think the city of Johannesburg is very good at emphasizing campaigns that are working, and there are quite a few of those. So a lot of economic development projects that focus on grassroots level.
Do you think that more should be done about creating an awareness for the importance of this address on an annual basis?
I think the very few people actually know or care about the State of the City address.
But this is where the rubber hits the ground. This is where national policy gets converted and diluted to little goals that affect everybody's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we definitely need to pay more attention to it. There needs to be more fanfare around it. We need to actually say these are the policies that affect how our city is run. This is where we get to have say-so in saying these are the policies you put in place to develop the city of Johannesburg economically. What you said 5 years ago hasn't come to fruition. There's time for change. That's how we implement oversight. We need to know what's happening, so we actually have to watch the State of the City address.
And a great opportunity to get local community leaders out there in the public when the mayor is actually speaking and actually campaign and put their concerns forward as well. We're not seeing that happening.
No, not at all. And I think it is definitely an opportunity missed to make a big deal about. And also the date it occurs, to have this sort of government event occur on a Wednesday. Most people have just gotten back from holiday, are focused on work. They're not going to be paying attention to it. So if it happened on something that happened on a weekend, made a big fanfare about it, had actual initiatives that the government had undertaken on show and people could see what was actually happening in their city. And I think there would be much better oversight, much better understanding of why sort of local government elections are important as well. So people of the city of Johannesburg need to come out and say we care and we want to know what is happening in the city, and the mayors of the city of Johannesburg need to say, well, we're going to show you what we're actually doing in the city. So it needs to come from both sides.